High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sports, make sure you head to youtube.com/varsity media. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube. High school sports fans, Varsity Media Pass is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of boys and girls lacrosse, softball, and baseball, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
It's a soggy Tuesday night in Nassau County, but a great rivalry renewed. From Bethpage High School, the Lynbrook Owls take on the Bethpage Golden Eagles on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And a pleasant good evening, everybody. Alongside Tom Rooney, I'm John Perez. Lynbrook comes into this game at 2-1, a good 7-0 win over Friends Academy. This is a Lynbrook team that doesn't have the numbers roster size, but they got a lot of heart, Tom Rooney.
Yeah, they got some really talented players. You got Hendrickson and O'Doherty and D'Antona, LaBarbera, some really good middies. They run a really confusing zone on defense. They're competitive, they're feisty, and they're here to fight.
Yeah, and you mentioned a few of those guys as Lynbrook, led by Bill Luzzy. They'll have some of the top players, of course, in Nassau County as we take a look at our impact players, and they'll be led by Michael Hendrickson and Chris Palladino. And Hendrickson just does so much. 5 goals, no helpers yet, but he's good on the faceoff, and he does a good job commanding that offense. And Palladino, you can make the same case and anchor on defense.
Yeah, Hendrickson is like a throwback midi. He takes faceoffs, he stays on and plays offense. He does a little bit of everything for this team, a real workhorse. And Palladino is a long LSM that impacts the game a lot in the middle of the field, off the wings, on ground balls. And when they jump in their zone, Palladino is the guy that extends their zone and allows them to pressure out.
This is a Lynbrook team that's won 2 of 3 so far, and they haven't played a game since last Tuesday. That's Hendrickson and Palladino. Let's meet the rest of the starting lineup. For Lynbrook, led by Bill Luzzy in his second season, 9 wins a year ago. And Benevitano leads the way with Derek Sandori, Eddie Stradowski. It rounds out the attack. We mentioned Hendrickson, Jack LaBarbera, along with Patrick O'Doherty, Jack Greenfield, Peter Marinos, John DiFiore, and, of course, in net, that's Caden Lung. And Caden Lung, a future MIT player as well, and he's not just good academically, but, of course, great between the pipes. And finally, making the step, he is goalie number 1, and he has been a brutal force between the pipes, Tom.
Yeah, really good goalie. He's got great hands. He knows exactly how to position himself in this zone. Lynbrook runs a little bit of a different zone than most people, and Caden is kind of the key to it. They are going to give up shots, and Caden Long is the guy they rely on to make those saves.
All right, so that's Lynbrook. Let's take a look at the home team wearing the home whites. It's the Bethpage Golden Eagles, and for the Golden Eagles, 2-2, a 7-6 loss to Calhoun in overtime. That was a game in which they led 4-1, and this is a Bethpage team that is young compared to years past, and they don't have a lot of experience coming into this year. But, like Lynbrook, a very feisty bunch, and, of course, they're going to be led by 2 of the best players as well. As we look at our impact players, it's Bryce Wiley along with Mike Lazaridis.
Yeah, we'll start with Lazaridis. Lazaridis, the Hofstra commit, is a really aggressive, physical defenseman. He could take the ball away with a stick. He's got great feet. He'll have his hands full tonight with a number of Lynbrook offensive players. And Wiley's a kid that really broke out last year. He's a lefty that can get down the alley, shoot on the run, step down, shoot. He's a pace commit. He's somebody that Bethpage relies a lot on. They're going to need a big game out of Wiley, for them to be successful tonight.
Yeah, and they're expecting that out of Wiley. So that's 2 of the starting 10. Let's meet the rest of the starting lineup for the Golden Eagles, led by Pat Gorman in his second season, 8-10 a year ago, losing to Manhasset in the Class C final. It's Andrew Reinhardt along with Anthony Garassi, Charlie Abramo, who is a talented young man, only a freshman. He's got 6 points early on. Chase Soliday, Michael Labasco, Michael Lazaridis, along with Ryan Tesler, Michael Nicky, Luke Waxer, and in net is Jake Kelly. And Kelly taking the next step, the WestCon commit. There's only been 3 commits so far on this team. He's one of them, and just like Caden Lung, a very powerful force between the pipes.
Yeah, this is a young man that took over last year and really was the goalie on a lot of raw talent, has worked really hard. You could see the progression over the course of last year, and he's been excellent at the beginning of this year.
It's the Owls, it's the Golden Eagles. It's a soggy Tuesday night in Nassau County, and it's all coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity Media has your back. With a following of over 50,000 and a local demographic ranging between the ages of 18 and 54 years old, it's time to get that return on investment. Plus, here's the best part. Your ad lives forever on our YouTube page. And with a large on-demand audience, it's a grand slam to advertise with Varsity Media. Welcome back to Bethpage High School. It's the Owls, it's the Golden Eagles, and of course it's all set to take place. And alongside Tom Rooney, I'm John Perez. Let's take a look at the keys to the game for tonight's matchup.
Yeah, if you're Lynbrook plays a certain style. You know, they don't want this game to be up and down. They want to control the ball on offense. They want to control the middle of the field, and then they want to settle into their zone defensively. So they really want to limit their turnovers, not allow Bethpage to get out and run. And then, you know, Bethpage plays a nice pressuring defense, so they're going to try to find some short stick, you know, mismatches and go on those guys. And if you're Bethpage, you got to be really patient against the zone. You don't want to take, you know, an ill-advised shot. Lung is very good. They'll go the other way on you, and you'll have very short possessions. So you got to be, you know, you got to be careful where you go. They want to initiate from behind. They want to go from X. And like most teams, they want to win the ground ball battle. And they feel that way just because they need the possessions against this zone.
Yeah, it's a Lynbrook team that doesn't have the roster size and probably just around 25 players on the roster, a shorter team in their rotation, of course, not as deep, so that's why they have to play the zone. And we'll see if Bethpage can get off the tough break against Calhoun with a victory against Lynbrook. And a big stretch for both of these teams. For Lynbrook after tonight, they take on Plain Edge and Southside. And then meanwhile for Bethpage, they'll take on Cold Spring Harbor and Locust Valley. Never easy, of course, for those two. As we are set to go in the opening face-off, as it'll be Leo Cataldo, who's won 69% of his face-offs this year, against Michael Hendrickson, who has just been, as his coach says, a beast from the face-off.
Yeah, this is a good matchup. Two good face-off guys. Bethpage really wants to try to control Hendrickson's touches, and that starts with winning the ball like Cataldo did right there.
Yeah, and immediately gets it over to Jake Geller, the senior D-Midi. And then Bethpage will set up its offense. There's a team that, in its victories, has outscored their opponents 22-2. It's those losses, the 9-3 loss over to Seaford, and then blowing a 4-goal lead in the first half against Calhoun. The difference in the two losses for the Golden Eagles, as their first opportunity comes near side, and it's Bryce Wiley, had a goal and assist against Calhoun Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, they got some shooters on this team. Soliday can really bring it. Wiley can bring it. Labasco, you know, he's another lefty, so they have some good balance in the zone along with Wiley, another lefty. But you can see right away, this is a zone, but Lynbrook will push out on you. So you you still got to be aggressive. You still got to dodge it. Great look inside.
Yeah, and an early goal for Bethpage as they get on the board. And a fantastic feed and finish. It's Chase Soliday. He had a goal against the Colts, and now he's got his first of the evening and a 1-0 lead for the Golden Eagles at home.
So, John, I was just saying you still got to dodge, right? You know, sometimes in zones they're so packed in, you don't. This is a pressure zone, so you got to dodge it. Soliday does a good job here, you know, on the wing where he's going to kind of handle this pressure, and Labasco just settles right into that soft spot of the zone. You see him there, number 21. Soliday finds him. Great overhand finish.
Yeah, so Soliday with the completion to Mike Labasco. That's his second goal of the season, and one of those three-sport athletes, of course, plays hockey as well, and a football guy. And now that is Labasco lighting the lamp for the first goal of the evening.
Nice job by Bethpage on the clear there. And if you're Bethpage, this is exactly how you want it to start. You know, when a team plays zone, if you get out and you can get a lead, you force them to extend the zone even more or possibly even jump out of it. So great start for Bethpage. You see them getting the ball behind, get the ball early to Wiley and Soliday and see what they can do.
The difference this year for Wiley is just how he's been a vocal leader time and time again since Pat Gorman. And that was one thing that he got on Wiley about in his exit interview last year, saying we need you to be a little bit more of a leader. Well, day one at camp this year, Wiley's fulfilled that. Dumped up front, a nice shot, and a quick save by Caden Lung, robbing the freshman Charlie Abramo. Stays with Bethpage. In front and a goal. Anthony Garassi picks up his second of the year, and a good job by Bethpage to keep it alive. They're up 2-0.
Yeah, this is Soliday again doing a nice job. Bethpage is skipping the ball over the top to start. They get a good shot. They get a rebound. They get one of those loose balls that they talked about. And then another skip over the top to Soliday, who finds Abramo inside, or Garassi inside. There's the skip. And there Soliday is going to look. Good finish.
Yeah, and just a great job by Garassi. And, you know, it's interesting. Pat Gorman said that he's somebody that wasn't sure who he was going to be this year and how he was going to contribute. But for Garassi, contributing early on, an early 2-0 lead for Bethpage.
Yeah, our battle right there between two really good LSMs. We highlighted at the beginning Palladino. Palladino takes it away from Waxer, and then Waxer returns the favor, and Bethpage gets another possession. And
now Soliday in fourth gear overshoots his target, or a check that goes right into the stick of Reinhardt. And now Reinhardt will start it off.
Yeah, so another face-off win for Bethpage, controlling the action. I like what they're doing with Reinhardt behind the cage. It looks like Lynbrook's going into a little bit of a lock here on Wiley. They got Greenfield, the other Greenfield, Nate Greenfield, the brother, locking Wiley, and you know, they'll probably stay zone, but they'll throw the lock on Wiley and just take away one of the Bethpage weapons.
Vinny Malisi finding the lob. Fight for possession. It'll stay with the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, nice shot by Soliday there. He's got some range, and you know that shots like that extend the zone a little bit more. So you know it's not a terrible shot when you're able to back it up. It's a good possession shot. And now they've changed their lock.
Wiley thought about it, going top left corner. And a good job by Malisi to keep possession alive.
I like Bethpage's philosophy right now as far as where they're shooting the ball. You could shoot to score and still have possession shots. You know, you try to hit corners, shoot for back pipes, and this way it's either a goal or you're backing it up and you retain possession.
And does that have anything to do with the zone that Lynbrook has out there, or does the defense just not matter in those situations?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the zone, John. I think you're right. I think it's one of those, you don't want to take a bad shot, but you don't want to not take shots. So you got to be smart about your placement, and that's what they're doing. Good look again by Soliday. I'm not sure who that was inside, just couldn't handle it, and Lynbrook was able to cause a turnover.
Yeah, it looked like Malisi, and now here comes Lynbrook the other way, and they're still looking for their first opportunity as it's Pat O'Doherty leading the way with 3 assists up the field. And Eddie Trudowski over to Mike Hendrickson.
Yeah, this will be our first look at the Lynbrook offense here, led by Hendrickson, and you're going to see Waxer matched up with him. And after 3 long possessions by Bethpage, I would think Lynbrook's going to take their time here before they go to the cage.
LaBarbera had a concussion that sidelined him at the end of last season, went through all the protocol, and now is 100% to begin this year. Benevitano matched up with Lazaridis, 4-on-4. Vitano drives inside and scores. Benevitano with his team leading 6-goal, cuts the deficit in half. It's 2-1.
Yeah, this is a case where, sometimes it's not pretty and it just ends up, going your way. There's a turnover behind the cage, and Vitano is the one who comes up with it, and it allows him to get a step on his defender. And Bethpage just a little slow to go there, and Vitano finishes.
Benevitano called up as a sophomore, now a 3-year starter. And, an interesting story as well. He only started playing lacrosse when he was in 8th grade. Now, it's been 5 years, but, there are players out on Long Island, and some of the best that obviously get a stick in the maternity ward, and for him, a little bit of a later start.
Yeah, it almost sounds silly, right? He only started in 8th grade, but you're right. Most of these guys have started in their PALs, in 3rd grade. I would imagine some even earlier than that. So, for somebody who started that late, he's got great skills. I've seen him, shoot righty, lefty. He's caught up nicely.
Here's Pat O'Doherty, one of the captains on this Owls team. And a nice scoop on the far side by Luke D'Antona. He's such a shifty player, but he's got good stick skills as he battles with Wiley.
Yeah, John, just a quick note. Lynbrook rolled out Haberman to take that last face-off, and he was able to beat Cataldo to get this possession for Lynbrook, giving Hendrickson a little breather. Something to keep an eye on. Sometimes face-offs are matchups, and looks like Haberman was able to just be a little bit quicker than Cataldo on the last one.
No, and that's a good point, and that's something that Luzzy brought up last night in that he wants to spell Hendrickson a little bit and keep his legs fresh, and said, hey, we can't have him out there all the time where he's expending so much energy. So, yeah, you're right. He'll throw out different face-off men. Wiley catches it in stride, and we'll slow it down and wait for the rest of his team to catch up.
Yeah, great job by Waxer there on the turnover, getting himself out, getting the ball up to Wiley, allowing Bethpage. Now looks like they're going to roll out some of their second middies, give some of these guys a breather.
Yeah, Liam Farrell checks in. He's 24 in white. Good young player as well. Only a freshman. And now it's Andrew Reinhardt leading the way with 8 points on the season.
Yeah, Lynbrook back in this lock zone, so they're extended out on Wiley here. They got D'Antona, looks like, locking them off, and it just, looked early on, Bethpage was in a nice rhythm, and that's exactly what they wanted to do, is throw them out of their rhythm, and they did.
Yeah, Abramo over the stick of Farrell, and Lynbrook will take over, and here's Caden Lung. On the long stick, here comes Lynbrook. Past the midfield, and that's Ryan Kehoe. Gets the LSM. They're trying to develop his defensive ability. He was an attackman last year. Knifing inside, it's O'Doherty. Rips a shot and scores. We're tied at 2. What a laser off the stick of Patrick O'Doherty, his 4th goal of the season. And that ties it. Just over 4 to play.
Yeah, you see O'Doherty here just run through the check. Does a really nice job of absorbing it. And then on the run, puts it into a great spot where Kelly can't get to it. And I like the way Lynbrook has responded. You get beat on the first couple face-offs. Bethpage gets in a rhythm, their first 2 possessions on offense. And Coach Luzzy does a great job of changing things up and kind of putting Bethpage on their heels a little bit.
And one thing as we look at the face-off, that's Haberman in there with Cataldo. And now Cataldo trying to scoop up the ground ball, and still up for grabs.
Nice job by Soliday. You know, on a night like this where it's wet and it's windy, it's a little sloppy, you know, I don't know if any ground ball is going to be really, really clean, and you're going to see little scraps like that. It's important, if you know, to stay with it. Whatever team comes up with those is going to have that many more possessions.
Finds its way around to Wiley.
Yeah, first middies back out there. See if Bethpage can get back into their rhythm.
Wiley, one of those guys that Pat Gorman says just has unlimited athletic ability, but also never gets tired. And it's an easy decision to keep him on the field, or I guess reversely as a coach, Tom, right? Hard to take him off the field or pick your spots.
Yeah, he's a very good two-way player, and I know they're going to try to spell him. And you saw, we talked about the Lynbrook zone in the opening, and that's exactly kind of what Bethpage didn't want to do. Early in the possession, try to force one inside. That is what Lynbrook wants. You know, they want to extend a little bit, have you try to throw the ball around, and, you know, another turnover, and now a chance to take the lead for the Owls.
Here's Benevitano. Already a goal today, trying to battle his way inside. And a good defensive play to get possession. That's Ryan Tessler. The voice on defense now picking it up, and Tessler with 3 ground balls on the season coming into today. And now Soliday.
Yeah, really nice ground ball there by Tessler behind the cage, and then able to, you know, get himself and his hands clear to get the ball up to Soliday to get this clear. And you see in some of these passes, when your stick gets wet, when the you know, the mesh of your stick gets wet, it starts to bag out a little bit. You're going to see some of this tonight.
Not just that, it could also be a slippery track out there as well, as both of these teams are going to battle with that. In front and a goal, Guarassi's got another one. 3-2 Bethpage late in the first quarter.
Yeah, nice job by Reinhardt here, handling pressure. And I love the way Guarassi just finds the open space. You're going to see on the replay here, Reinhardt right here, he's going to free his hands, and there is Guarassi just stepping in, and it looks like no one's there, but he's finding that space. Nice job by those two to connect for the Bethpage Eagles.
You know, Bethpage picking on the zone, and now awarded with a 3-2 lead as Haberman and Cataldo. And it's Lynbrook that scoops it up. It's Chris Palladino, the converted attack min to LSM.
Well, John, the good news is when I watched these guys on film, I wasn't sure how much offense we were going to see tonight. And the reality is we've had a good pace to this game. Really good play in between the lines, Palladino, Waxer, and these guys really getting after it.
No, and you'd be right to say that, especially for Lynbrook over their last 2 games. Only 3 goals against Island Trees, and then a 7-0 win over Friends Academy, which seems like a one-sided victory, and it was, but, you know, it's a 3-0 game at the half.
Yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes there's just weird matchups. They both played zone, and they were both very content to kind of play at a certain pace.
Past Hendrickson. And awarded to Bethpage.
Yeah, over and back there. And now a chance for Bethpage to get their guys on. You got a minute here. It's a perfect way to end the quarter, to hold the ball and hopefully get the last shot.
Here's Chase Soliday. Opened up the scoring with his feed to Mike Labasco.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting a lot of intentional bounce passes here, but we're getting a few for sure.
No, you're right, and it's just teeming here, and I'm not sure what's being shown on the broadcast, but we'll show you at the beginning of the second quarter. Tough conditions for both sides, and they're not going to make any excuses. It's just going to be a tough week on Long Island weather-wise. Back the other way, and a nice save by Lung. He robbed Vinny Malisi.
Yeah, and enough time here for Lynbrook if they push the ball down the field.
Let's see, with 4 seconds. And no heave, and that does it. 1 quarter in the books. Bethpage with a 3-2 lead over Lynbrook at home on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Dante does it again! Defensive play. Dante Padaro. Illico ties it up.
Move by Yeso steps up and score.
A jump shot for Nell.
Welcome you back for the start of the second quarter, and there you see Tom Rooney just pouring here. And, there's sometimes you'll watch a ball game, a lacrosse game, and you'll see it, and it just looks like, drizzle or fade. No, it is raining buckets out there, and both of these teams actually ratcheting up the pace. And I know it's only a 3-2 game, but a lot faster than we predicted.
Yeah, I think high school kids always get excited when the lights are on. They know they're on Varsity Media. This is a big game for both teams, and that is a factor in it too. So, you got a lot of fired up young men, so the pace was probably a little bit faster than both staffs wanted. But, I'm happy with it. We saw some good action there. And, early on we saw Bethpage run some great offense, get the ball to Reinhardt, and him kind of facilitate from behind, Soliday with a couple of good feeds. And then Lynbrook showing kind of the way Lynbrook is, very athletic and scrappy. You get Vitano on a goal behind, and then you get O'Doherty just eating a check and scoring on the run. So this is sizing up well in a serious rainstorm.
Through the first 12 minutes, your thoughts on the Lynbrook zone?
Yeah, I liked when they went to the lock zone. They locked one guy. First they started on Wiley, then they went to Soliday, and I thought that really threw Bethpage off. Listen, the zone is tough. It's always tough. I think Bethpage has done a nice job. It's obvious they have a really good plan for it, and they've practiced it, but they've still thrown the ball away a number of times, and that's the goal of that zone.
Someone else who's been solid has been Justin Haberman, the junior, coming in for Mike Hendrickson at the faceoff. Won a couple of faceoffs in the first quarter against Leo Cataldi, who's almost automatic at a 70 win percentage, and there he is at the scoop to start off the second quarter.
Yeah, right on cue, John. Nice job, and that this is what Lynbrook is going to need. A nice job by Waxer. Way to jump the pass.
Yeah, Waxer's just someone that's all over the field. He's got some of the best stick skills and a ground ball machine. Leads the way with 19 ground balls, but it's something that's not measured is just the takeaways that he has per game, as Andrew Reinhardt will begin the opening possession for Bethpage in the second quarter.
And those kind of plays are really deflating for Lynbrook. You bring in Haberman, and he wins you some face-offs, and he wins a face-off to start a quarter, and Waxer's able to just anticipate a pass and get a takeaway. And it's almost like it doesn't matter that you won the face-off, right? Because now it's Bethpage ball.
Chase Soliday with an assist on the opening goal, and now it's Bryce Wiley, who was held scoreless, one of our impact players, and swung over to Charlie Abramo. He had a goal against Calhoun Saturday, 4 goals on the season. Bramo took his eye off the ball and scoops it up.
This is the second time we've seen this now. Little throwaways in the zone or rebounds that Bethpage has come up with a ground ball.
And a finish. It's Guarassi. He's got another one, and it's a hat trick in the first half for number 3, Anthony Guarassi.
And that's why the ground ball's big, right? It just gets you another possession, and that's the kind of stuff they were talking about as far as how important ground balls are going to be. And Reinhardt does such a nice job there, putting it right in Guarassi's stick. And, Guarassi, listen, John DeFiore is a big guy out there, and he just put his hands on Guarassi. Guarassi was able to kind of eat that check. Nice job right there.
And so Bethpage striking first in the second quarter as it's Haberman and Cataldo this time clinical. Well, Tom, you mentioned playing under the lights and trying to ratchet up that speed, and now Pat Gorman telling everyone to take a second. No shot clock yet. Let's set up our offense.
Yeah, and a game that's kind of went back and forth, and now they all of a sudden they have a 2-goal lead with a chance to make it 3. This could be a big possession for them, and I don't know if the pace can stay this way. So if you can get a 3-goal lead, it feels like it's a pretty big spot for them.
Bryce Wiley and Garassi. Converted Mitty coming off a knee injury last year, and this was a Bethpage team that was really banged up by injuries. In fact, 5 of their starters in today's game missed half, if not more than that, during the season last year. Some full injuries as well for Bethpage, and Pat Gorman says he's just happy to have everyone healthy at the start of the year.
Yeah, Pat Gorman and his assistant Brett Waxer have done a really good job with these guys. They're a young team. They worked really hard, got off to a great start last year, and then the injury bug really just decimated them. So it's nice to see this group healthy. They've worked hard in the offseason. They talked about their offseason workouts, and if they can stay healthy, this is a nice group of kids right here.
Swung low to high over the crossbar. And Lynbrook, with a good hustle by Caden Lung, get possession. Well, and also for Bethpage, too. This is a team that, injury bug or not, still won 8 games, lost to Manhasset, who was just a buzzsaw running through on their way to a Long Island championship. A lot of things to hang your hat on for Bethpage, especially stuff brewing for this year.
Yeah, obviously no shame in losing to Manhasset. And, listen, everybody lost to Manhasset last year, right? Just about. So, nice job by them last year. But, they have obviously bigger aspirations, and that starts with a big, game like this on a Tuesday night against Lynbrook.
Lazaridis with the pickup. And a cross-field pass. Here's Tesler. Steps into it and heaves up the field. And the pass taken away. Good job by Jack Greenfield, who was sitting for it. In front, tic-tac-toe, Bennett Vitano strikes again. That cuts it down to 4-3 as Vitano picks up his second goal of the game.
Yeah, Bethpage does a good job of forcing a turnover by Lynbrook in the clearing game, and then Lynbrook does a good job of forcing Bethpage, and Bethpage throws this ball away, and it turns into numbers, and it looks like it's O'Doherty coming right down the middle of the field, and he does a good job of just taking his time and finding Vitano, who's kind of planted there in front of the cage.
Good job in transition for the Owls, and that cuts the lead down to 4-3. As Bennett Vitano now with his 7th goal of the year. And like we mentioned, the late starter started playing after his 8th grade season, or in 8th grade. Ground ball, that's Luke Waxer.
Yeah, nice ground ball by Waxer. Nice job by Geller getting the clear.
Pat Gorman said that Waxer was one of the unsung heroes against Calhoun and did a good job connecting the offense to defense and learned a lot in that loss to the Colts and said that, hey, we'll be a better team for it after that result, but it stings in the moment and looking and sitting pretty right now with a 4-3 lead and 7.5 to play in the first half.
Yeah, winning is a learned behavior. They were up 6-3. I think there was 36 seconds left when Calhoun scored their 4th goal, and then they were able to get 2 more in the last 30 seconds. Sometimes you have to go through those growing pains as a young team to learn how to win. And, it stings, but the nice thing about lacrosse is 3 days later you're back at it.
Timeout taken by Lynbrook with 7:15 to play in the first half, and we'll take a break with them as well on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media.
Dante does it again! Defensive play. Dante Zadaro. Killico ties it up by
And a jump shot for Nell.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Welcome you back to Bethpage High School. It's a 4-3 lead for the Golden Eagles, and what a first half it's been so far, as Anthony Garossi leads the way with 3 goals for the home team, and of course on the other side as well for Lynbrook. There is one of our star players that we've been watching is Chris Palladino. He's been good defensively. Bennett Vitano has a pair. He's got 2 of those 3 goals. He's Tom Rooney. I'm John Perez. It's been a fun first half, Tom, and now Lynbrook, after the timeout, looking for the equalizer.
Yeah, good timeout by Lynbrook just to kind of settle. They struggled a little bit in the clear, so they get the ball, call a timeout, try to set up some offense. Bethpage answers the timeout. They're going to come out and lock Michael Hendrickson, and we'll see what happens with the Lynbrook offense. Obviously not something they probably planned for.
Here's the southpaw, Derek Sandorfi, a goal and 3 assists on the season. Big strike by Jake Geller, and now it's Hendrickson.
Yeah, something you can't do when you're locking is, lock somebody off the end line. So sometimes a missed shot is exactly what you want when your star player is getting locked off.
Hendrickson the drive, backing in, looking to get a shot off, and it's skipped aside. Jake Kelly got a stick on it. Battle for possession, and there's Bethpage there, and a good foot race as that was Waxer winning the race.
Yeah, nice job by Waxer. Hendrickson with a pretty good shot. I like what he did there, picking it up off the end line and going. Another turnover by Bethpage in the clearing game. Oh, nice look.
Doherty inside, denied. Jake Kelly standing on his head, closing the window, but it stays with Lynbrook. And then a whistle halting play as the push-off against Lynbrook, and Bethpage takes over.
Yeah, Jake Kelly with an unbelievable one-on-one save, just coming out and matching the stick. This is like back and forth action. Not something you see every day.
I got white.
Quick timeout taken. Bethpage takes it with 5:43 to go in the first half, and this is a Bethpage team that 2-2 on the season, a 7-6 loss to Calhoun in overtime over the weekend, and is starting to figure out this Lynbrook zone, and they'll have a pretty tough schedule upcoming as well, of course, at Cold Spring Harbor on Friday, Locust Valley, Belmore, JFK, North Shore, Island Trees, who gave a pretty good licking over to Lynbrook, an 11-3 victory, and then, of course, Floral Park and Plain Edge. I know that everyone talks about the Power Conference, but still some really good lacrosse for Bethpage, and they're going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, obviously Cold Spring Harbor, perennial powerhouse. I'm going to get a chance to call them tomorrow against Syosset. But the last 3 teams there, Island Trees, Floral Park, Plain Edge, sort of teams that, go through the cycle a little bit, and right now all of them are on a high. They are very good teams. I got a chance to watch Island Trees play. The Filacamo brothers, McCoy, Roddy, who was a head coach here, his son, is a great player for Island Trees. Floral Park has Owen Sanchez and some other guys that are really good, and Plain Edge has Donnellan, who's an excellent player. So those are 3 really good teams at the end of that stretch.
Saw Plain Edge last year on Varsity Media when they picked up a nice road win against Cary, and that was a fun game as well. As Bethpage looking for their 3rd win of the season, and Pat Gorman has their team sitting pretty with a 4-3 lead under 6 minutes to play in the first half, and a possession upcoming.
Yeah, so last time Bethpage had the ball, I felt like they rushed it a little bit in the zone. I think they got to get back to, being patient, get the ball behind to Reinhardt. You don't need the first look inside as much as you just need to get a good look. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to get a long possession here if you're Bethpage. The longer your possession goes, the more the zone stretches out.
Charlie Abramo, a clamp down, and out races the LSM, Palladino.
Yeah, Palladino just so disruptive out there. And if you're just joining us, you probably don't realize they're playing zone by the way they come out and pressure the ball, but that's exactly what they're in. They just have the athletes. So Doherty is out there as a short stick pressuring. And you have DiFiore in the middle there, the big guy who's always sort of ready to go.
Yeah, and DiFiore, too, such a young player, but he's got the size, and that's something that Lynbrook loves about him.
Yeah, a guy in the middle of your zone who's got that kind of length and you know, with a 6-foot pole in his hand can really be disruptive.
Swung up top of Bramo, quick pass. Wiley steps into it and scores, low left corner. About time Bryce Wiley lit up the board. That's his first goal of the game and a 5-3 lead for Bethpage.
So we talked about coming out of the timeout and taking their time and running good offense, getting the ball behind to Reinhardt. Reinhardt skips it up top to Abramo, who steps in and does a really good job of one-mooring the ball over to Wiley, who's really, you know, just an excellent shooter. And he's not going to miss from there. Nice job by Wiley to get on the board.
Wiley, a goal and an assist against Calhoun Saturday. Now 5 goals on the season, as he is tied for the team lead with Reinhardt of 8 points. Off the face-off, Waxer just past the stick of Geller and a turnover.
Yeah, another ground ball for Waxer. I wasn't sure what they were calling there. You know, just couldn't connect there with Geller, and those are tough turnovers, but I think you might get one right back here, and you do.
Yeah, and then so here's a Bramo. Bramo takes a stick from D'Antona and reverses course.
We see number 10 there on the ball. That is Jack Greenfield. He's a very good player, very aggressive back there in that zone. Causes havoc. And if you're Bethpage, you kind of got lucky, right? You threw the ball out of bounds. You were able to cause a turnover right away. And you have a chance to just kind of stay within yourself here, run your offense. You know, you can kind of feel the rain. We can see it. I'm not sure if you can see it at home. It's sloppy, so if they can just kind of keep the ball moving, nice save.
Yeah, that was a good save by Lung in the slot, as that was Vinny Malisi once again. And Malisi's been robbed blind a couple of times. He's had good looks, but Lung stood the test of the challenge.
Yeah, we talked about Lung in the opening. He's excellent, obviously an excellent student going to MIT, and does a really good job in the cage there.
Ground ball. Here's Tesler, the voice of the defense, and picked up a ton of ground balls against Calhoun, says his head coach, as he led the way with 6 GBs against the Colts. And Wiley will set up shop. 3 minutes to play in the first half.
Yeah, Bethpage is doing a really nice job at riding the ball, you know, and Lynbrook's spacing is just a little off. And, you know, in conditions like this, it is windy as well as rainy, so it's hard for the coaches to communicate. And Bethpage is able to turn them over again and get another possession for their offense.
Soliday looking for his own tally. Swings it and denied by Lung. Rebound comes back out. Shot in front, but Lung with the intercept. And quick outlet past the midfield. And then an over and back. And here comes Lynbrook.
Yeah, here's Hendrickson in the open field. You know, Lynbrook's dodged a few bullets here. You know, they're down 2. They were down 2 before, and they were able to find a way to get a goal. But you feel like Bethpage has had the ball most of the evening so far. But Lynbrook, every time they seem to be in this spot, has found a way to create some offense.
D'Antona to La Barbera.
Yeah, I like D'Antona right now with a short stick to initiate the offense.
Here comes Lynbrook. Off the dangle, it's Sandorfi. Feet in front, doesn't get the shot off, and now back out is Nate Greenfield. Slick pass. Hendrickson, jump goal, and a tumble to boot. Mike Hendrickson, with his 6th goal of the year, cuts the lead down to 1.
Yeah, this is a nice job finding your guy, right? And Hendrickson, with a big wind-up, eats the check, comes back to his left, and just hammers a corner. Really nice shot by Hendrickson there. That is not easy to do. And that's exactly what Lynbrook needed. You know, we talked about not having the ball that much. And here they are only down a goal, and your face-off guy is doing a really nice job against Cataldo. Haberman's come in and done well.
And that's Haberman back to the face-off. And there's Cataldo with the win. And a quick flip. And a whistle and a timeout taken. We'll take it with them as well. Final minute and a half to play in the first half. 5-4 Bethpage on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media.
Dante does it again! Defensive play. Dante Zadaro. Hillico!
Power move by Tieso, steps up and score. A jump shot for Nell.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Welcome back to Bethpage High School, a 5-4 lead for the home team as Bethpage has been getting it done, most notably by Anthony Corrasi, leads the way with a hat trick in the first half, as his compadres, that is, of course, Bryce Wiley, contributing in there as well, and a good scoring effort by Bethpage, but Lynbrook, each time that they've been put to the mat, Tom, they've answered back.
Yeah, I feel like this game has gone exactly how we kind of thought it was. Lynbrook is that scrappy, athletic group of kids. It's not always pretty in the middle of the field, but they find a way to score. And Bethpage has done a good job for the most part in the zone. A couple good saves by Long has probably helped that. A couple poor decisions by Bethpage, but we got a good one. 5-4, and now Bethpage has the ball with a chance to get one before the end of the quarter, which kind of feels big in a game like this. You know, it hasn't been bigger than two goals, so if you can get back that 2-goal lead, it just kind of gives you a cushion that seems to be tough to deal with.
Here's Charlie Abramo, now off to Bryce Wiley. Backing down, it's Reinhardt. And the final minute to play in the first half.
Yeah, and I think if you're Bethpage, you'd like to take this clock all the way down to about, 20, 25 seconds, somewhere around there, and just, get something really high quality, but certainly don't leave any time for Lynbrook.
Well, nothing like playing catch in the rain with your boys, and that's what Bethpage is doing now. Final 30 seconds. Abramo and Wiley.
Yeah, they've done well when they've gotten the ball behind to Reinhardt.
Lost the stick. Big defensive stand by Lynbrook. Still 14 seconds to go, and a turnover. Now a race against the clock for Lynbrook.
Yeah, that's Palladino again with a nice check.
Skirting the sideline. Barbera upended. And a whistle. And a timeout taken by Lynbrook to set up shop. And clock reading 8 seconds left in the second quarter. But what is being said here by Bill Luzzi? What do you want to see him set up?
Well, it obviously has got to be a quick hitter. So whoever's picking up the ball, my guess is they're going to run some off-ball picks for somebody, away from the ball, probably on the other side, either Hendrickson or possibly Vitano, guys that can really shoot it. But 8.6 we're seeing on the clock here in the stadium. That's enough time. That's enough time to kind of, run by the first guy and make a feed inside or a skip pass across to a shooter.
And so Lynbrook with an opportunity for the equalizer, as they've gotten a couple of goals by Bennett Vitano, and also saw Patrick O'Doherty in there as well. And now Bethpage just trying to hold serve for final 8 seconds. And, of course, with the rain teeming down and the locker rooms all the way across campus, you'd have to imagine it'd be a pretty quick halftime as well, especially in these conditions. As Patrick O'Doherty will start it off, and drawing the assignment is Jake Geller, the senior.
Yeah, I would look for O'Doherty to kind of run by the first guy and then maybe some sort of picks for Hendrickson off ball.
In to join him is Guarassi. As O'Doherty swings it in front through traffic, skips around. 2 seconds in one, and a good defensive stand by Bethpage as we go to the half with the Golden Eagles leading 5-4 at home right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Dante does it
Terrific
again!
Defensive play. Dante Zadaro.
Illico ties it
Power
up.
move by Tieso. Steps up and score.
A jump shot for Nell.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media Pass is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of boys and girls lacrosse, softball, and baseball, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity Media has your back. With a following of over 50,000 and a local demographic ranging between the ages of 18 and 54 years old, it's time to get that return on investment. Plus, here's the best part. Your ad lives forever on our YouTube page. And with a large on-demand audience, it's a grand slam to advertise with Varsity Media.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable, and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050. Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Feel like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media. Did you?
Welcome you back for the start of the third quarter, a 5-4 lead for Bethpage here at home, and not exactly the slickest of track. A lot of tough mutters out there as Bethpage with a 5-4 lead, but it's actually Lynbrook that is our winner for the speedy play of the game. And take a look at that speedy goal by Lynbrook early on. And in transition, Lynbrook working quickly. O'Doherty, a quick feed in front, and the finish by Benevitano. 1 of 2 on the day for the Lynbrook attackmen. Train with Onyx Salva and the gang located in Garden City. Improve your speed today at speedislandny.com for a session. He's Tom Rooney. I'm John Perez. And Tom, I know we didn't see a lot of speed here. This is a Lynbrook zone that we weren't exactly sure how they were going to reciprocate on defense. But overall, this game has lived up to our expectations, but some highs, some lows. It's been a fun one.
Yeah, very competitive. You know, the competitiveness is obvious, you know, here in person. It's going to be a little sloppy. It's going to be a little sloppy because of the conditions. It's going to be a little sloppy because of the, you know, excitement of these young high school players. But at the same time, we've had some really slick plays and just a fun game so far at the half.
5 of 7 is Leo Cataldo as he battles with Haberman for the opening face-off of the second half, and Lynbrook scoops it up, and that's Pat O'Doherty. O'Doherty, a four-sport athlete, football player, soccer player, and a hockey player before lacrosse. And, you know, I know that you've managed multi-sport athletes, but it's always interesting because Bill Luzzy says that he's a guy that since it's his senior year and his careers are ending in those other sports, he's actually getting more attention here. There's a shot in front and a save by Jake Kelly, his third of the game.
Yeah, O'Doherty's a great athlete, you know, and I love coaching guys like that. You could see him all over the field, his competitiveness. And, you know, he does a great job on the ground ball. And then probably a shot a little bit earlier than Lynbrook normally takes it, and Bethpage able to regain possession.
Anthony Rossi with the hat trick in the first half as it's Chase Soliday had an assist on the ice-breaking goal to open up the scoring.
Yeah, and I think you saw Lynbrook's zone get even more aggressive in that second quarter. Now they're back to the lock zone. They looks like they're locking Soliday on the right side over there. That could open up this other side for Wiley. You know, it's a little bit easier to run your zone when you got the full complement. There's Greenfield, though, behind the cage. He is tough.
Yeah, Jack Greenfield, he was a midi last year, converted to LSM, picked it up defensively, and he's been a stalwart on the defense for Lynbrook this year as they're coming off a shutout against Friends Academy and only 5 goals in the first half. And a huge check from behind and a turnover.
Yeah, Greenfield gets the turnover, great outlet out to Palladino, and Palladino starts to break, just can't connect.
There's Bryce Wiley, had a goal in the first half, second straight game with a tally. Had 1-1 against Calhoun in that overtime loss over the weekend.
Yeah, we mentioned just before that Lynbrook zone getting a little bit more aggressive. Greenfield does a really good job there, extending himself and getting a stick in the passing lane on the last one, and now we have an offsides on Bethpage.
Here comes Bennett Vitano in third gear, and he'll set up at X. Hendrickson. And now it's Luke D'Antona. D'Antona, another multi-sport athlete.
Yeah, I like D'Antona a lot. I think they got to get him going a little bit here. Again, we haven't seen a lot of set offense for Lynbrook tonight. It's been a lot of transition and a lot of scrap. But when we have, they found Hendrickson. Obviously, he's an excellent player. But D'Antona's a guy that can get his hands free and score.
LaBarbera. And here's D'Antona. One thing that Bill Luzzi says, we want him swimming and dodging a little bit more. He rips a shot, and a save by Kelly in front of the 5-hole.
Yeah, and this is where this game has gotten interesting in the clear. Nice job by Geller there, just settling in and able to pick up a ball there.
And a turnover, and the Owls take over.
Yeah, just as I'm complimenting Geller, I think he might have forced that one. You know, right now both teams are struggling clearing the ball. Again, it's windy, it's rainy, it's hard to hear your coaches. Bethpage has done a really good job of kind of chasing the ball around and making Lynbrook throw some really deep passes in the clearing game.
Loose ball to step in. It's Ryan Tessler with the GB. Dangling and setting up shop from X.
Yeah, nice ground ball by Tessler. See Greenfield back there pressuring.
And a timeout taken by Bethpage. We'll take it with them as well. 8:10 to go in the third quarter on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Off the timeout, Bethpage with a 5-4 lead over Lynbrook, and looks like there was a little lapse offensively and could have been a possible offside, and Bethpage and their coaching staff was all on top of it, and not just to shore up what they want personnel-wise, but what else do you think that they're telling their team through the first 4 minutes?
I think it's relax. You know, they've started this third quarter really helter-skelter, a bunch of unforced errors, kind of gotten away from that composed group that they had at the beginning of the game. So I like the timeout. You know, sometimes you don't like to take timeouts so early, in a half, but that's a good timeout. Just settle these guys down and get back to what you need to do against this zone. Because like we talked about, they got a 1-goal lead. If they can get this back to 2, it just feels like that cushion is something that they could be comfortable with the rest of the way.
Here's Bryce Wiley. Last year against Lynbrook broke his hand and has that memory, but has been playing well this year. Overshoots the target in the slot, and now a loose ball. That stays with Bethpage, and here's Wiley. Reinhardt. Against this Lynbrook zone, Wiley looking to start.
Yeah, good decision by Wiley, not taking what would have been a little bit of a force. And this zone now is really extended. And I like getting the ball behind now to Reinhardt. All right, that's a possession shot like we talked about earlier. The Bethpage offense has run its best offense when Reinhardt has started with the ball.
And that was Soliday with the rip, the second-year starter. He's got quite a shot.
Yeah, you have 2 guys on each wing between Wiley and Soliday that can really bring it. And I think Lynbrook knows that. It opened up things inside for Garassi early. And I think you just have to kind of keep moving the ball, extend this zone, and not force, and that's what they did.
Jumbled up in front of the net. Fight for the ground ball, whistle, and a push. We'll give it to Lynbrook. Here's Pat O'Doherty.
Too many men on the field here, it looks like, for Bethpage. They got 7 on the field. I don't know if the refs,
Yep,
yeah, they see it there, yep.
Free possession for Lynbrook is Hendrickson. And Hendrickson will restart and let the offense play out.
Yeah, nice free possession here for Lynbrook. Won't be easy because Bethpage has the extra guy, but you're going to get the ball back. So I think you just keep reversing the ball, and try to find a short stick matchup to go on and get the best shot you can, knowing that you're going to get a man up if you lose possession.
Here's LaBarbera. Up top to Hendrickson. And Hendrickson swings it to X. Vitano. And now with the clampdown, an EMO for Lynbrook. As they'll bring on Eddie Stradowski, guy with good vision to shore up the man-up unit.
Yeah, so this is a big opportunity right here for Lynbrook. You're down a goal. You're more than halfway through the third quarter. I think you have, guys like Hendrickson that Bethpage might possibly lock off here. But you have enough guys in this offense between Vitano and Sindori and O'Doherty and guys that can really shoot. So let's see what they come up with. So Bethpage is going to lock Hendrickson. They're going to play 5-on-4. It's a 30-second penalty. Oh, an interference. Tough call.
Yeah, and that gives it to Bethpage, and now that's exactly what the Golden Eagles wanted, and now they'll have possession. They'll kill off the penalty, and you would think, but long outlet pass, there's Guarassi. On the long pole, this is DiFiore. In the open field, Palladino, the dish. Didn't catch it cleanly, and you could really see the elements come to play for Lynbrook. And a timeout taken by Bethpage with just over 5 minutes to play, and a little discombobulation there for Lynbrook. Didn't get the shots that they wanted.
Yeah, they had a 3-on-2. Palladino with a long pole does a nice job of drawing and dishing. They try to go back to Palladino. That's a tough spot for a long pole. But, Bethpage had a chance to get out of that possession, and they threw the ball away, giving it back to Lynbrook. So they don't get the man up, but they do retain possession. So now you're at the 5-minute mark. You've rested your defense pretty well here over the last couple of minutes, and I think you'll probably see, them try to get Hendrickson more involved. Bethpage has done a nice job on Hendrickson. We've seen him with 1 goal so far, but he hasn't had a ton of touches and certainly not a lot of opportunities.
No, but you've got a lot of opportunities to watch lacrosse this week and this year as well on the Varsity Media Sports Network starting Friday. Victor at Cold Spring Harbor. We got a Cold Spring Harbor boys game tomorrow as well. Del Barton takes on St. Anthony's at 11 a.m. And then Shoreham Wading River, a brunch time special. And then the big one, St. Anthony's against Chaminade next week and Port Washington against Cold Spring Harbor. Port Washington still looking for their first win of the year. And then a good girls matchup on the 11th. Ward Melville, Northport, and Smithtown East against Half Hollow Hills. We saw Half Hollow Hills in the beginning of the year, and it'll be fun to see them a month into the season, what they've been able to do.
Yeah, that's a really talented Half Hollow Hills. We saw them game 1, and, they were still trying to find their way, and I think they still put up 14, 15 goals between Marco and Rayo and Filardi and, the Chung brothers, Air Chung,
Yep.
You gave him his new nickname. There's a lot of talent over there, and they're buzzing in Hills right now.
The interesting thing about that game is Rayo just had 1 point in the contest and is still able to put up those 14 goals.
Yeah, I actually thought he played excellent.
Yeah.
He did a great job of sort of being a decoy, a lot of hockey assists, really unselfish. But you're right, he didn't. I think there'll be very few games where he doesn't score much, and but he's a really talented player, talented team.
No, he'll score plenty. It's just a matter of how deep that Hills team is, which is fun to watch. As Bethpage defensively, they've been putting on a clinic tonight.
Yeah, that's a great double by Waxer. Really good instincts right there.
Flag is out.
Big opportunity here for Bethpage. And this is not, you don't want to throw this ball away. You want to try to, keep this ball alive. It looks like you're going to get a late hit on Waxer after he threw the ball. So now this is a free possession. And if it is a personal foul, it could be an and one, especially with Cadaldo at the X. So you're rolling on their first middies here. with a chance to extend this lead.
It's Charlie Abramo. Bryce Wiley. And now playing catch for the 2. Reinhardt. From X. Wiley was calling for it. Goes the other way. Soliday. Now Wiley finally gets it. High shot ripped aside. And now the EMO for Bethpage.
Yeah, good possession there. I think Bethpage will take Wiley getting to the middle and getting his hands free and just a little wide.
Cross check on Lynbrook. As that's going to be Nate Greenfield who comes off. And it's Greenfield. Tough penalty to take in that spot, but either way, with 3.5 to play in the third and rolling, Bethpage, a 2-goal lead would be the equivalent of having a 4-5 goal lead with the way this has been going, Tom.
Yeah. You know, we keep talking about it, so this is a huge opportunity. It's also a minute penalty, so you got plenty of time. You don't need to rush your man-up offense. Lynbrook is in that same sort of style of man-down zone, which is aggressive. If you keep this ball moving, you're going to get a good look.
Soliday scoops it up.
Yeah, they're locking Wiley right now, so it's going to be Reinhardt or Soliday who's going to get their hands free.
Up top, Malizi. Soliday, quick hitter, bounces wide, Reinhardt.
Yeah, I think when they extend this zone, those are the guys that you want to see if you're Bethpage, Soliday, and Reinhardt together on that side. Still plenty of time.
Low pass handled beautifully by Abramo. Lynbrook, big check. And a loose ball push against Bethpage as Lynbrook takes over.
Yeah, Lynbrook able to kill off the penalty. I think Locke and Wiley really threw off the rhythm there, and you see O'Doherty just a one-man clear.
The drive, O'Doherty, dish. Hendrickson blocked in front. As that went right off the shoulder of Lazaridis. Up ahead, here's Soliday. Dishes off Abramo. Swims, shoots, blocked. And there's Caden Lung. And clears to the midfield.
Yeah, this is some good end-to-end action here. O'Doherty's great in the middle of the field. He found Hendrickson. Unfortunately, the shot was blocked. So I think we're going to go back to 6-on-6 here. And this is one of those things that happens in high school. You can dominate a game, and the scoreboard doesn't reflect it. Bethpage has dominated the possessions. They probably, are 80 to 90% on clears, whereas Lynbrook has struggled. But Lynbrook has found a way to hang around here, and when teams hang around, it's usually dangerous.
In front, and Kelly with the denial.
Oh, baby. Kelly.
Big time save on the incoming Owl attack.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get a replay on it, but that's his second just absolute robbery from in front. Does a great job of matching sticks. Not easy to do for a goalie.
Rain continuing to pound down in the final minute of the third quarter.
And this ride is really given Lynbrook fits. They're kind of matching feet. They got Waxer kind of roaming in the middle of the field.
Across the midfield. It's a long pole. Furtado. Hendrickson. Final 20 seconds.
Yeah, nice job by Greenfield there, getting the clear. And now, if you're Lynbrook, you got to go. You're about at 10 seconds right here.
This is Luke D'Antona. Swimming, D'Antona. Looking to dance with Geller. And they don't get a shot off. We go to the fourth with Bethpage, leading 5-4 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media.
Dante does
Terrific
it again!
Defensive play. Dante Zadaro.
Illico ties it up.
Move by Tieso steps up and score.
A jump shot for Nell.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Start of the fourth quarter, Bethpage with a 5-4 lead over Lynbrook. He's Tom Rooney, I'm John Perez, and the rain, when it rains, it pours, and it's going to pour this entire week on the Varsity Media Sports Network. So if you're watching at home, put your poncho on, and you'll be a part of the enjoyment of the precipitation with us as well. Lynbrook shut out in the third quarter. Bethpage didn't score either, and with that said, Tom, a game that has really slowed down defensively. What did you see out of Bethpage on the defensive column against the Owls?
Yeah, I think they've done a nice job on Hendrickson. It really limited his touches. The polls for Bethpage have been super active. Really impressed with Luke Waxer, kind of all over the field. Had that late double and takeaway, and then wound up drawing a flag out of it. And Kelly has been excellent. I mean, let's be honest, Kelly has robbed 2 goals from Lynbrook, but it hasn't been a lot of 6-on-6 for Lynbrook. If Lynbrook can get out on some of those breaks and unsettled, I think they will get a few more. And then on the other end, Lynbrook's zone is, you can get a few, but they are not going to jump out of it, and they've done a nice job of sort of knowing what Bethpage wants to do, and it's given them trouble.
Haberman and Leo Cataldo, and it's Cataldo who takes it away. And, boy, he's been almost automatic today at the faceoff.
Yeah, nice job by Cataldo. Haberman gave him, some trouble early in that first half when they brought him in, a little change of style, but Cataldo's figured him out.
Here's Bryce Wiley. And now up top to Mike Labosco. Scored the first goal of the game on the feed by Chase Soliday. Soliday. The handoff, here's Wiley. Wiley rips it and gets the mom goal, and it stays with Bethpage. First minute gone through in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Bethpage passing the ball with a little bit more crisp right now, getting the ball moving. You see not as much pressure by Lynbrook because the ball is really moving. And I like that shot by Wiley, coming down the alley with his right hand. He's their guy. If you're going to win this game, Wiley's a guy that's going to have to win it for you.
Wiley to X, Reinhardt. And now Charlie Abramo. Battling with Chris Palladino and swung around against this Lynbrook zone. Minute and a half gone by.
Yeah, not the worst thing in the world if you're Bethpage to kind of take your time and, drain some clock. You really love to finish this possession, with a goal.
The swim, Guarassi looking for number 4, not that time. And a good backup by Reinhardt to keep possession alive.
Yeah, Bethpage changing up what they do a little bit. They're kind of popping in and out of the crease. And this possession has given Lynbrook a little bit of trouble. That's a good shot.
Yeah, just wide, as that was sashayed out of the way by Caden Lung.
Yeah, that's one of those possession shots we talked about earlier, John. It's to the back pipe. It's a good shot by Soliday. It's either a great goal or you back it up and you keep this possession alive. If I'm Bethpage, I'm staying away from Greenfield back there. He is inches from every single pass knocking it down. He's got a really active stick.
Here's Abramo. Out of Soliday. Bethpage wanted a flag, not going to get it there. Here's Soliday. Up top of Bramo. And now Wiley will slow it down. And as Bethpage looks for its third win of the year off a tough overtime loss to Calhoun, this would fit in line with the pattern of their season so far. Win over MacArthur, loss to Seaford, win against Malvern East Rockaway, and then the loss to the Colts.
Yeah, and these are the kind of possessions, this spot in the game, that usually can tilt the game, right? And they've held it for 3 minutes, gotten some good shots, along with a great save there.
Yeah, and a long possession for Bethpage. Somewhere in California, Mike Hungerford is screaming for the shot clock.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. That would be in Carlsbad, California, for our buddy Hungerford.
Sweeping shot. Whistles past everyone. Should stay with Lynbrook. On a good coverage by Derek Sandorfi and Bennett Vitano.
Yeah, that's O'Doherty again in the open field. He's really good there.
Sandorfi. Off to Vitano. 4v4. Lazaridis gets the assignment. Whistles a shot over the crossbar. And the long extension by Tesler. But to no avail as Derek Sandorfi will keep possession for the Owls.
Yeah, this is one of the longer Lynbrook possessions we've seen in the second half. And a big one. You know, you're down a goal. You haven't touched the ball a lot. Had a couple, untimely turnovers. This is a big possession.
The Barbara. Vitano. 2 of the 4 goals today. As Bethpage, just their largest lead of 2 and got it squandered down to 1. And not that we thought that this would be a one-sided affair, but either way, Lynbrook's hung with Bethpage, and they're looking for their 3rd win of the year.
Yeah, I tell you, Bethpage just won every matchup right there. They denied the ball to Hendrickson, and the defense stood tall and forced Lynbrook in doing something they didn't really want to do right there and throw a skip pass, a tough skip pass. Now, the key here will be the clearing game, and this has been an adventure all night. A little bit to do with the conditions, a little bit to do with some wet sticks and things like that, and some spacing. Let's see if they can get it over. Nice job by Bethpage there.
Guarassi. And now off to Soliday.
Yeah, last time they ran, more than 3 minutes off the clock, and with a 1-goal lead, you'd almost like to do it again. Obviously you'd like to finish with a goal, but the way this is going, the time off the clock is almost as important as the result.
Soliday dodges. And now swung around again to Wiley. Goes wide, stays with Bethpage. Just over 6 to play in regulation.
Yeah, nice sneak by Reinhardt. Reinhardt's been sort of behind all night at X. Lynbrook kind of lost sight of him, did a nice job of climbing and just misses climbing the ladder there, climbing the hash.
Reinhardt to Soliday. Abramo. And Soliday once again.
Yeah, the Lynbrook zone is extending, and there's going to be opportunities inside, whether it's going to be Garassi or it looks like they got Vinny Malisi in there. If those guys move, with the way this zone is extending, and it kind of has to at this point. You're at 5.5 to go in the fourth quarter. You're down a goal. You can't stay in the box. You got to start to push right to the edge of the box and try to force Bethpage into a turnover.
There's a Lynbrook zone that's been, their calling card so far today and this season, and can't imagine it's going to change anytime soon. And when you've got the lead for Bethpage, there's no need to push the agenda.
No. I mean, it's almost as if we can have a catch on the outside, and you're going to have to come out and play us. Here's a look for Soliday.
And that's high into the right. And because Reinhardt was hanging out at X, we'll stay with Bethpage again.
Yeah, another good possession shot by Soliday. It extends the zone because now they feel like they got to, it was a good look by Soliday. They got to come out and play them. And now you're under 5.
Soliday to Reinhardt. Good aggressiveness by Jack Greenfield trying to force the turnover. But ultimately stays with the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, you see how much they've... Oh, nice.
Almost a turnover there, and good job as LaBarbera tried to catch the duck.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Bethpage burns another timeout soon. You're under 4, but you're starting to get a little antsy in this zone. And there's really no need to.
Soliday. Off to Abramo, and the two-play catch again.
Yeah.
Wiley.
If you're Bethpage, just keep your spacing. Make these guys come out and play you. Be careful about skipping balls, through with these long poles with their sticks extended. You don't want to get a knockdown. And it's really got to be a good shot at this point. No forces.
Here's the low-to-low right into the stick of Lung.
And that might have been a little bit of a force. I'm not sure if that's exactly the shot that they wanted. Lung is going to save that more times than not. And if you're Lynbrook, you got to clear it. And just as I say it, they turn the ball over.
Jake Geller. In stride, and here's Bethpage once again to sit on the ball.
Yeah, nice job by Geller going back and helping and then getting the clear. And Lynbrook's going to have to make a decision right now about how they want to handle this last 2:30. I don't know if you can just sit in the zone. They'll probably have to match up at some point. And I believe Bethpage is sitting on a timeout as well. So if you're Bethpage, I would continue to have this catch until Lynbrook comes out and pressures and you see a guy in trouble and then you burn a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If they're going to give it to you, you might as well take it. And we finally got 2-minute warning here.
So you got to keep it in call. So now you got to be careful at the top of the box. And Bethpage wisely drops 3 behind. And now they're going to match up.
Lynbrook looking for the turnover and getting the equalizer. Up top, it's Soliday. And right on cue, Tom. A timeout taken by Bethpage. We'll take it with them as well. $1:40 to play in the fourth quarter. 5-4 lead for Bethpage over Lynbrook on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media.
Dante does it again!
Defensive play. Dante Zadaro.
steps up and scores.
A jump shot for Nell.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Welcome you back to Bethpage High School. A 5-4 lead for Bethpage. That was a score at the half, and it stood that way as the Golden Eagles have pulled away to this 1-goal lead, and quite frankly have just played catch for the last 6 minutes or so in this quarter. And of course, without a shot clock, Bethpage using it to their advantage as they look to pick up their 3rd win of the season. Tom Rooney.
Yeah, now Bethpage has got to close out the game. They're going to come out, give the ball to Wiley. He's going to get doubled. You got to find a way to finish a game, right? That was the big concern after Calhoun is you let them hang around and then they got you. So Wiley, nice job breaking the double.
And comes out of the net. Wiley off the crossbar. Coming out, a fight for possession, a long dive, and Lynbrook takes over.
Yeah, that's kind of nightmarish for Bethpage because the only thing you can have happen is a turnover. Open net and he hits the crossbar. Very unfortunate.
No, Bethpage, a overtime loss against Calhoun. Lynbrook looking to extend it as the ball pops out of the webbing of Marinos.
Yeah, trouble on the clear again.
Awarded to Lynbrook. 1:16 to go in the 4th.
Looks like they're giving Lynbrook the ball back, and O'Doherty's been a one-man clear all night.
O'Doherty swims across the midfield. And then a timeout taken by Lynbrook. So what do you think Bill Luzzy is going to draw up here for his team?
Yeah, I think you got to get the ball to Hendrickson. You know, he's the guy. We've seen him very limited tonight. Bethpage has done a good job on him. I think you probably initiate with somebody else. You don't need to. You really got to go almost right away and give yourself multiple opportunities. I would probably start the ball with Hendrickson so he's not locked, and then run him off some picks, something like that. And if you're Bethpage, you got to be prepared to slide, but you can't fall asleep on some of these other guys. The other Lynbrook players in there, guys like Vitano and Sandori, these guys can finish, so you got to be careful and know where they are as well.
Yeah, and there you see Bethpage in their huddle, and what do you want to see defensively, obviously, against Lynbrook?
Yeah, that's Coach Brett Waxer there. I know he's saying just play good defense, right? In these situations, you don't try to do too much. This isn't about taking the ball away. This is about playing good, solid defense, good team defense, right? Don't let one guy beat you. If they're going to beat you, they have to string together 3 or 4 passes. So make sure you have your slides and your rotations all set and everybody communicates. And the last thing he's probably saying, John, is if we do come up with a ground ball and you're in trouble, just get it to the other side of the field. Do not have a turnover in our own end.
1:03 to play in regulation as that's Pat O'Doherty. Already a goal today. Made it 2-2 in the first quarter. It was 5-4 at the half, and now Lynbrook started off.
Yeah, well, O'Doherty has shown that he has the ability to run by people, so I don't mind him starting with the ball. But at some point, Hendrickson's going to have to find the ball here.
Here's O'Doherty getting some separation, then swings it up front. Shot skips over the crossbar and should stay with Lynbrook. 41 seconds.
Yeah, that's a good look. Nice pass by O'Doherty there. It looked like it was inside to Stradowski. Just unfortunately bounced it over the crossbar.
Derek Sandorfi matched up with Ryan Tessler. Here's Sandorfi off the pick. Swings in front, taken away. And now the ball trickling out. And Bethpage with possession. And now with 28 seconds to go, starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, and if you're Bethpage, you just got to clear this ball a little early for the chuck, I think.
Yeah, and that's what it was. You can see the frustration on the Bethpage side of things with 13 seconds to go. One last gas for the Owls. It's Patrick O'Doherty Cross in the midfield. O'Doherty.
They got a guy open.
In front, big hit. Flag comes out. Ball still loose with 0.7 seconds to go. And now time expires. Bethpage is celebrating. There was a lot of contact on that final possession. And let's see how this gets sorted out, Tom.
Yeah, I actually love what Kelly did there. You could sort of see it unfold. I'm yelling, there's somebody open, and O'Doherty's found him like he has all night, and Kelly does a great job of coming out and being physical. The penalty, he's going to get a penalty, but the penalty doesn't start until the ball is picked up. So the clock ran out on it, unfortunately for Lynbrook.
So that's it. It's a final. Bethpage wins it 5-4 over Lynbrook. Their defense steps up in the second half to pitch the shutout as Bethpage picks up its third win of the year, thanks in part to the hat trick by Anthony Guarassi. Lynbrook drops its second game of the year. They're 2-2 and just couldn't get over the hump against Bethpage. So that'll do it for a wet and soggy night here at Bethpage. For our executive producer, Ben Turchin, for our technical director, Becca Kazaks, for Chris Sweeney and Rob Bianco, and my partner, Tom Rooney, this is John Perez saying so long from Bethpage High School. It's been a presentation of Nassau Lacrosse on the Varsity Media Sports Network.